And here we are in the top bottom left-hand corner of the map. From the team SCV Life, it is Symbol. Player who is really, really rich in his history of his accomplishments. We'll see if he's got what it takes to take down none other than the Red Zerg player here in the top left-hand corner of the map. From the team FXO, it is Leenock.
Leenock indeed. More ZVZ. I think this is our fourth of the day or fifth of the day.
Fourth or fifth, yeah.
Yes. We've seen a lot of it. We've actually seen it as kind of a prevalent matchup recently, and it makes sense with the rosters that these two guys have. FXO is a little, I'd say they're a little more well-rounded than TSL is at the moment. TSL is very Zerg heavy. Yes, they have Pult that's sitting around who's still a great player, but they're an extremely Zerg heavy team. FXO leans Zerg, but of course they've got those guys that can jump in at any time. Obviously, we saw the best in Gumiho today.
Yeah, fantastic sets out of those guys too. Gumiho, yeah, that game was pretty insane.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was a very long ZVT that got really interesting at the end. I was really surprised that we saw so many infestors thrown away. It just didn't even matter.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But here we are on Atlanta Spaceship, guys. Biggest two-player map.
Yes, it is, and it lends itself to this hatch first, which we're seeing. We've seen players that have tried to get in and do some damage with some sort of an early pool or something like that, and that can work. You know, you historically think of the maps like Taldra Malter or even larger two-player maps where you're like, well, you know where your opponent's at, or you know basically what they're going to be doing. So an early pool can actually work. On this map, it's even a little prohibitively long to do that. We've seen things like 8 pools held after a hatch first into gas. I mean, things like that have happened.
Yeah, it's just too large of a map is really the problem behind it. You know, on a lot of maps you can get away with an early pool, and if your opponent holds it, all right, at least you delayed some mining time or something of that nature. But on this, there's no delaying mining time. If they open with a reasonable response, your Zerglings are going to arrive after their Zerglings pop out. So it's not surprising at all to see hatch first out of both players, and pool and gas follow-ups, both players with identical openings right now. We just see that Leenock is a hair ahead on the minerals, and Symbol a little bit on the gas.
All right, so yeah, both players did decide to get gas before pool as well, so we're going to see that circling speed started for both players very, very quickly. Now, this is a map that could potentially go into Mutaplay. It's one of the better ones for it because there's a lot of open space, there's a lot of flanking opportunities, there's a lot of places that you can go on this map that evade the vision of the Xel'Naga Tower, so you have to have very explicit control of the map through overlords, and you may not always have those. So let's see here if either player decides to go for it, but you know my bias. I'd certainly like to see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kevin and his love of the Mutalisk, that little flapper with 2 wings.
It's cute. For some reason, I just thought of a Mutalisk in a flapper dress for some reason, so that's, I don't really know how that happened, but it's a thing.
It would kind of like sit over their mouth, though.
Yeah.
They'd have to eat up their dress.
I don't know. Then I've got like the
image. Really awkward.
Then I've got the image of said Mutalisk in said flapper dress doing some sort of swing dance from the 20s. But in this
he's wearing a top hat.
Yeah, it's very vivid in my mind right now, but it's probably not working for anyone
else.
Maybe
a little bonnet. The bonnet would probably be more appropriate. Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing's already confusing, so I mean, we might as well throw a little more mayhem into the madness.
I guess so. Delve into my twisted mind a little bit more. Bailing Nest coming up for both players. Symbol actually getting himself a spine crawler. No such thing has been started for Leenock yet. Is not too worried about it at this stage of the game. Symbol playing a little more traditionally. There we go. Leenock just started his a little bit after.
Yep. And appropriately timed here. I mean, it does not seem like Leenock, actually with the timing here, Leenock, you know, is going to get pretty quick speed as well. So Symbol, his speed just wrapped up, slips into the main. His Bambling Nest is complete. But it looks like he just wants to get a full scout, and we'll see it. Sees the Bambling Nest, sees it as opponent, has completed speed by now, and, well, he's just going to keep running back and forth, in all honesty. Not too worried about hiding Banelings. He knows that's not going to work against a player like Leenock.
That's right, and he just wants to continue to get a good look, so he shifts the Queen a little out of position and continues to duck around the side. Layer tech already coming up for Symbol at the moment, and pretty early layer actually, so potential that he'll go into his Mutaplay that we were talking about. I don't think we have, can we check and see if there's an evolution chamber down for Symbol at the moment?
Yeah, let's take a look around space. We see he's getting 3 and 4 extractors. Wow, really, yeah ramping it up there, but No Evo chambers yet.
I think we're going to see mutas.
Yeah.
He could throw. Okay, there's the evolution chamber. So he could switch it up on us, go for +1 weapons, and right new infestors. But I sure hope we're going to see that Spire.
Well, he does. He's already started his lair, so that does really lend itself towards a Spire instead. Because you look, he's sitting on 200 gas. This is what we were talking about with Symbol. It is going to be. Yeah,
then
he
puts
throw
up
down
the Roach Warren. So, Symbol.
Well, you know, it's definitely could be a reaction to what he's seeing here because the timings. I mean, not working out so great for him. If you take a look, he's sitting on 300 gas. He's gonna be able to start +1, but he's still sitting on 200 more than he actually needs. Looks like he's going to opt to try to utilize that by throwing down a quick Infestation Pit and an Overseer.
Now, we do have a market difference out of Leenock, though, who's already invested in 1/1 for melee. So, and he cancels it and goes right into his +1 for range. Thanks, Leenock. Thank you.
Overseer. 4 Symbol going to be swinging in. And pretty, you know, this is pretty fast, so definitely possible that that Leenock could be suspecting the possibility of tech out of his opponent, which we are seeing is in the form of an Infestation Pit. And, ooh, nice. Leenock going to have a Ling waiting for this drone to come down to the third. Is it on hold position? No, it's not. But the drone isn't going to make it anyways. Immediately, Symbol has to turn around, starts running home to try to save that drone. And will Leenock opt to turn this Overlord into an Overseer? We're going to find out.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out here in a second. He does shift it back just a little bit, but you're right in the fact that he needs a little bit of information, but he's made a pretty educated guess on what his opponent is doing so far, and he's got a nice, I think, an appropriate risk on a third base there. Looks like this Changeling is picking up on pretty much everything there, but I think it's an appropriate time to take that risk. He's got a lot of resources built up. He could make a few more Zerglings, but he'll obviously want to make some infestors here in just a bit. Pathogen Glands far enough along, though, for Symbol that he could start to put up those infestors, and they'll receive the upgrade when they finish up.
That was an insanely useful Changeling for Symbol. The fact that he was able to see these Zerglings could have easily lost this hatchery. Instead, holds onto it. Ling's going to be swinging around to the middle, and they're not going to get anything done right now.
All right, let's see here as Infestation Pit finishes up for Leenock, and we're settling in for yet another long game, it appears.
Yeah, it is Atlanta's spaceship, so nothing too surprising there. +2 Carapace. Going to be the name of the game for Leenock as he's nearing +1 being complete. Also, Pathogen Gland's going to be able to get himself some quick infestors, but not quicker than Symbol. Remember how fast that lair tech was out of him. Leenock is definitely aware of this, so perhaps, you know, it explains why we saw him try to use these Lings to go for this attack on this third. Definitely makes a lot of sense there, but Leenock, you know, at this stage, yeah, there's nothing he can really do to pressure down the doors of Symbol quite yet. And it looks like he's just going to start making some preliminary units.
All right, so taking a look at things now, we've got the first couple of infestors coming out. Can we take a look at the unit station, if you don't mind? 57 to 50 workers at the moment, with the advantage of a Leenock actually pressing ahead a little bit further there. Only the one infestor out for the time being for Symbol, though, so he just has that huge advantage in terms of overall Roach count. Yeah,
Roach is coming forward right now. In fact, Symbol does want to get some damage done. There are 2 infestors on the map for Leenock, but mostly it's just stuff under production. Now he is going to be able to catch only 1 Roach with a fungal.
Yeah, a little bit of miscontrol there. Not the worst deal in the world. And Leenock's actually continuing to run out with just a couple of Roaches to continue pushing those away. He's going up to his 4th base a lot faster than his opponent is, too. So while he's temporarily back a bit in supply, while he waits for that to happen, he's actually going to be able to use this as an opportunity to leapfrog himself ahead in economy.
Well, Symbol should have seen the drone run out to this position, though. It certainly had to pass under the vision of this particular Overlord. Looks like Symbol is going to be going kind of for an engagement. Splits a couple of Roaches forward. Will the fungal growth drop down on them? No. Leenock is going to be falling back, not baited there. His Infestor is caught out in the front. Nice fungal growth to save it.
Yeah, and actually keeps that Infestor alive. Just a couple more hits from a Roach would have been able to take it out. As you just pointed out there, a contingent of Roaches is heading down towards the bottom. Better Concave definitely does go to Symbol at the moment, and Leenock needing to rally back against this. He does actually have the upgrade advantage, though, with +1 Carapace already in check for him.
Yeah, he's falling back for the moment. He's got a lot of Roaches getting ready to pop out. A couple of Spine Crawlers as well to defend against this. I don't know that Symbol has enough to defend at home. We're going to find out. Leenock pressuring down right now. He's going to be able to catch this Infestor pretty easily in the front as well. Spine Crawler starting to factor into the engagement while we see that Symbol is running up into the main base, trying to catch Leenock and a couple of production structures up in the main. No, he's going to be forced to engage. Here on the ramp, Leenock taking out a number of Roaches, and it looks like that's definitely going to swing in his favor at home. Leenock has been cleaned up as well, and both players coming to a standstill here. Resources lost, dead, even only a Zergling the difference right now between these two.
You can see that superior economy starting to win out for Leenock, though, because he went into that engagement a bit down in supply. He actually had to make up some of that, so not all of his forces were there at the same time, and now is able to actually equalize a bit faster than his opponent can. And now Symbol's actually running directly into a lot of forces from Leenock. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, and Leenock could start actually utilizing the production and hopefully start saturating this fourth base momentarily. No macro hatch up for him quite yet, though. That's what this fourth base is mostly providing at the moment.
Well, we're gonna have +2/+0 against 2/2 in just a moment. Symbol has not been able to capitalize on the unit count advantage that he's had here, and that's gonna cost him in the long run. Leenock's gonna have a definite advantage in these future engagements. Now, we do see Symbol working on that +1, but Leenock's gonna have 2/2 done before Symbol completes his carapace upgrade. It's gonna be an extremely dangerous position for TSL Symbol.
Yeah, you're right. There's obviously a really nice opportunity for Leenock to try and swing in with a 2-upgrade advantage and try and do something. It looks like he is actually setting up with some forces to flank from around the side. He's going to pretty easily be able to clean up the front line of forces, but the back set, that's going to be a lot tougher. That's a really nice fungal growth from Symbol, and Leenock is taking some serious damage there, but he's really not taking any damage on the front line of forces yet.
We'll see. It looks like he's going to run into the main and try to do some economic damage. Leenock is so good at winning ZVZs when he's hampered and dampened the economy of his opponent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter how many units he loses as long as he does economic damage. Picking off 2 free infestors here, getting a lot of drones. We can see he was target firing. Now he's busy elsewhere as roaches are coming for a counterattack from Symbol, but Leenock at home has a huge quantity of infestors and a fair number of roaches.
That's right, but Symbol's trying to swing into the fourth base, so he is going to force an engagement, and Leenock is going to happily trap these forces. Even though he may lose a couple of workers and a queen here, it doesn't make up for the economic damage that Leenock actually did to Symbol back inside of his main. Can we take a look at the workers killed?
Oh, absolutely.
19-1.
Looking so good for Leenock right now. Now, he even realizes that these roaches had burrowed. Symbol tried to sneak this in so he could pop up and do some harass later on, maybe when Leenock was moving out across the board. But no, Leenock, realizing this, is doing so well right now against the tricksy tricks of Symbol.
Okay, so we'll see here as Leenock, he's making his way out at the same time that Symbol sending up a little group of forces up to the top right corner. That is actually problematic for Leenock, because if Symbol fights him to a standstill back at home but can do economic damage, that'll actually play into the advantage of Symbol. Symbol does actually have the better concave so far. Groove Spines are not done, so these Hydralisks are a little bit more exposed because they don't quite have the range that you would like yet, but Leenock's still finding a way here to do a significant amount of damage, and he did actually stabilize against that force back at home.
Yeah, more roaches that had spawned were able to deal with it. Nice concave here for Leenock. Infested Terrans getting off a lot of damage as well. Meanwhile, the Infestors had swung down and thrown down some more Infested Terrans. They're going to be picking off reinforcing units. This is not a kill blow out of Leenock, but certainly a blow that's going to give him a very pronounced advantage, who is currently up 180 supply to just 113.
Economic advantages. Take a look at the worker count for me, please. 54 to 50, or 64 to 56. It's going to be 69 and 66 here in a second. But of course, Symbol has had to reproduce so many workers, and that's used all of his available larvae that he'd love to have go to units at the moment. 21 to 2 workers killed overall there.
Yeah, Leenock has just had not only fantastic engagements, we did see a very difficult engagement for him down here on the bottom, but elsewise things have been going extremely well, trading lots of infestor energy for kills. Guys, this is a 2-pronged attack right now, swinging back into the natural expansion once again while attacking at the third. The Hydra's adding a lot of DPS here, but remember, these are 2 roaches right now for Leenock versus the 2-1 roach Hydra composition out of Symbol.
All right, well, Leenock looks like he's trying to deliver the killing blow. He backs up with his infestors so they can start reaccumulating energy, but now he's just running rampant through his opponent's economy. He's still up by 60-some-odd supply. He's still got that fourth base up on his opponent at the moment. He's killing more workers. There's GG. We're tied up 4-4 and going into game number 9 of this best of 9. Leenock has come back and won 2 games in a row, and it's up to a winner-take-all to see who's going to move into the Premier Division and who gets sent down to Contender Division at IPTL.
This is going to be absolutely insane, folks. Once again, going to a Game 9, and I can't say that I was anything but incredibly impressed with Leenock's play there. His ability to come in with just that group of infestors, he would throw it on the infested Terrans and then just get out of there with those valuable units. Never let them die, always trading energy for units. You mentioned it before. Infested Terrans for units, there's not much more you can ask for.
No, that's absolutely right. So we're going to move into a commercial break. While you're away, check out the threads about the Lone Star Clash 2 that's coming up this weekend. It's an awesome awesome tournament put on by our friends at the Texas Esports Association. There's a lot of big names that are going to be there, from casters to players themselves. They're also running a big League of Legends tournament, so cool stuff. Hope you'll check them out this weekend. You can find out more information by Googling TESPA or the Lone Star Clash 2. You can also check out their massive thread that's over on TeamLiquid.net right now. So we're going to run to that commercial break, and when we come back, it's game number 9 of this best of 9 between TSL and FXO.